That's why we love having you on, and because you guys have a heck of a football team. Is that process the same way you handle the success you've had? Because we've seen upsets like we've never seen. Memphis lost to UAB. They were a 3-touchdown favorite. It was like one of the shocks of the weekend. You guys are in the top 25. You're becoming a favorite to make the college football playoff from the group of 5. Is that the same approach? Like, do you bring up to your team, hey, we can't let this happen, or do you just stay focused on the process like you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think so much when you hear people talk about process driven versus result driven. I think Inky Johnson said a couple of years ago, it really stuck with me, that can you be so bought into your process, your day to day, without ever being emotionally attached to the end result? That hit me. This emotionally attached to the end result piece resonated with me, because so much of when you talk about, when you hear coaches specifically and people in the business world, leaders talk about process, they're talking about, man, we just had failure. We just lost the game. Man, we got to go right back and work on our process. And it's a little bit of an overused word, but it's so true. When you fail, it's easy to say, man, it was our detail, it was our prep, it was our process, was the reason we lost. Well, for the first time in our program, consistently, we're talking about, man, like, process. If your process was elite last week, and that's where we are, Danny, it's not like, man, my process was good. Like, no, if your process was elite and you played at a high level, you physically and mentally and emotionally were in an elite state when we played last week, then rinse and repeat it, man. Like, just understand, though, if you cheat it in any way, then you don't control the end result at this point. So if you cheat in any way, you're leaving it up to chance whether you have success or not. And if you didn't feel physically, emotionally, mentally locked in and didn't play at your best last week, then we got to find what happened in your process that wasn't right. And it's the same thing for coaches, support staff, our dietitians, our trainers. Like if your process was elite leading up to it, then rinse and repeat that joker, man. Like, and you hope week 8 now in the season, for the most part, guys that are playing for us, that their process is elite. And the cheating of your process could be a lot of things, man. Like, it's sitting on TikTok an extra half hour last night rather than go to bed. It's man, dealing with some sort of issue that has nothing to do with your success with football. It could be a girlfriend, could be a issue at home with a parent, and whatever. Like, real life. Like, these guys have real life things. Mind you, we've also thrown millions of dollars at them too, so which also creates its own issues. And so, can all of the distractions we talk about it, things that are outside of your inner circle, can you just put that to the side till January, man, and just handle that crap later? And I think if you can create an atmosphere where the distractions are limited and all you worry about is your day to day, you can continue to have success. And, I've gotten the question asked a bunch, man, are you pointing to Memphis losing to UAB last week, or point to whatever upset you want there? Like, there was 6 teams in the top 25 that lost last week. It's like, well, what? No, I haven't pointed to it. Our guys know that Memphis lost to UAB last week. Like, they've watched the same film we have. So, like, point out what. Like, I don't know what Memphis's process was. I got no idea what UAB's process was, and it really has nothing to do with us, and we have no control over it, nor does it matter. What examples do you need? Like, if all you worry about is your internal and your daily process as a player, as a coach, as a support staff member, then none of that should matter. And I know that's easy to say. Anybody that's ever played the game at a high level would tell you that it's so true, but it's easy to say. But that's ultimately why I think you see good teams get upset at times, is because the prep wasn't right, and it's all mental. It's all a mindset. And my job ultimately is to keep our guys as focused as imaginably possible on the task at hand, which right now is Memphis. It has nothing to do with rankings, college football playoff, what anybody's saying about me. It has to do with Memphis. And truthfully, right now, the only thing that matters is that when we walk out here to stretch lines in 15 minutes, our energy's right, our intent's right, the way we greet and dap each other up is right. And for the next hour and 50 minutes, that the detail in which we practice the energy with which we practice, the physicality is elite. And that's it. That's the only thing that matters right now. And then we'll take care of what happens after that. And I think if we can continue to stay focused, I know it's a long-winded answer to your question, but then you handle success because it was no different than when you handled failure.
No question about that. I do want to ask one thing, and then we'll let you off to practice.